Good morning, everybody. Saturday morning. I'm sitting here on my porch, the porch of our little cottage right now, waiting for the rain to stop. Yeah, rain. You're saying, rain? Looks like a bunch of snow to me out there. Well, yep. 40 degrees, and it's raining. So instead of getting soaking wet, I know it's just a passing shower going through, and I'm waiting for my dog Gino to come back to get his food, but he doesn't like coming out in the rain either. I got to thinking about, when things don't turn out the way you want them to turn out. Like this morning, I thought I'd get out here in time to get everybody all fed and watered and stuff like that, and didn't quite make it. Didn't quite make it before the rains moved through. But our lives are like that in so many different ways. We have a plan. This is what we're going to do. And then something gets in the way. Something that just puts a wrinkle in all of our plans. I wonder, as I think more about our gospel lesson coming up, where Jesus told his disciples that things aren't gonna go so well from this point on. And they're going, what? Yeah, I'm gonna be dragged into court, and I'll even be tortured, and then I'll be killed on a cross. What? And of course, we all know the story of Peter. Peter saying, no way, that's not happening. Jesus says, get behind me, Satan, because yes, it is happening. This is part of what has to be. Well, when you think about that, it doesn't have to be that way, does it? It didn't have to be, but inevitably it would have to be that way when the plan of bringing hope and reconciliation to a hurting world, God's way, gets in the way of the world's way. And part of that is our fault. Yeah, our fault in our concepts of how God should operate in this world. Don't you see now that as we're moving through the Gospel of Mark, all along, people are getting the wrong idea about Jesus. Oh, they love him. He's the great healer. He's a fantastic teacher. He has so many cool things to say. But they're getting the wrong idea. They're thinking, you know what? This Messiah, the one who's come to redeem us and save us from the nasty Romans, that's him. That's him. Well, we don't have nasty Romans running around today. At least not that I've seen any running around. But we are all under authority, and sometimes we don't like it, right? And it's just some way to get out from underneath all these rules and regulations we have to follow. Maybe there's somebody that can come along and do that for us. Well, we even turn to our faith and think in those same terms. Maybe Jesus is the one who is going to make all things right for us. Well, that is true. He will. But not always in the way that we want. We were created in the image of God. What we often do is create God in our image, our own personal images, and say, okay, this is the way you're going to operate, God. And I wonder if, especially in our Western culture here in the United States, we've kind of turned Jesus into that person who does our bidding, instead of we following in his footsteps, becoming the type of person that God has intended us to be, namely those who give up ourselves for others, those who, it doesn't mean we turn into a doormat, all right? Don't get that idea. We just don't lay down our lives so people can walk all over us, and even though that may happen, we don't do it intentionally, but we do it with another purpose in mind, to serve and love our neighbors. And, that's not always the way of the world. So I thought about all that, and maybe that's why Jesus kept telling his disciples, shh, be quiet with this Messiah talk, because people are getting the wrong idea. And then we come to our lesson for today where the disciples themselves had gotten the wrong idea. And now it's going to be a tougher road. And you start seeing the crowds slip away from Jesus. They're not following him like they once did. Now, we'll get to Palm Sunday, all right, and there'll be a little bit of a parade that goes on there. But other than that, even his disciples start slipping away till, look at when he's hanging on the cross. Who's around? Nobody. Nobody. They've all headed for the hills. All because Jesus turns out to be such a disappointment. Or does he? You see, what may be something that looks like a disappointment to us turns out to be the best thing that ever could have happened. We're going to see that come Easter Sunday, but we can see it even before Easter Sunday. We can see it every day of our lives when we see that love of God at work all around us, even in the midst of a pandemic. Yep, you can see God's love at work in action amongst people who love and care and serve one another. And we need to live those kind of lives. That's the lives of discipleship that God has called us to live through the person of his Son, Jesus. But let's not be kidding ourselves. It won't always be easy, because there are always the forces of evil that work against that. And those forces of the devil aren't always just those things that look horrific. They can be subtle little things. We saw that in the temptations of Jesus in the wilderness, right? Hey, are you hungry? Just turn that rock to bread. Take the easy way out. Hey, you want to be in charge of all these people and make things right with a snap of a finger? Just bow down and worship me. Take the easy way out. You don't have to go through all this, Jesus. But Jesus knew he had to take the harder road. And sometimes we do too. Well, who wants to hear of a God who dies on the cross? That's not what we want. We want one who is victorious. And we do have one who is victorious, but not until there's a cross that gets in the way. A cross that shows the ultimate love of God for you and for me. So let's hang tight. Let's hang tight through this Lenten season as we read our gospel lessons and our scriptures that point us in the way that all of us should go. Well, looks like the rain has stopped. Time for me to get up and going and finish my outdoor chores. All of you out there, wherever you are, whatever the weather is like, have a blessed day.